Pass the elevator inspection.
We'll wait till we're ready to go here.
Oh,
Well, we will go ahead and call this hearing to order. The purpose of this hearing is to take action on a proposal to, what do we call it? Remodel, replace,
Upgrade.
upgrade. Some of the windows, I believe, in the courthouse. So we have Dale Ramsar here and Billy Lee, and let's give them the details of what this proposal looks like.
Well, a little bit beyond proposal, we've received approval of the $79,000 from the energy efficiency block program. And what we submitted was to replace new windows, some on the second floor and some on the third floor. The grant doesn't care where we install the windows particularly. But the question is, there are two pieces of the grant: install the windows and to put in a new analytics software system over our to control how and when heat turns on, cooling systems, etc. And part of it is the objective to achieve a 30% reduction in energy costs in this building by 2030. And so we have windows installed in the second or third floor,
first and second floors.
first and second?
Yeah.
Oh,
First and
right, first and second floor is what we put in the grant. We wanted to talk about whether or not Dale wants to talk about how he uses his budget and what windows we install for you guys to look at, because it's been discussed as to which really are the windows that need to be installed first.
So we'll start with the monitoring program. It's $40,581. That was part of the grant for energy efficiency. That'll monitor the system. It's a year monitoring from, depending on when it's installed, from that point, an entire year. So they have a load study for summertime, a load study for wintertime, and then they'll let us know what we're using and how we can adjust the cost. Also, the machines, there's programming that they'll be making to have to control the machines so that the machines will be more energy efficient. So that's the ATS control system. The second part to this grant, when it was written, was for windows. Because we just had the leftovers were you gonna use for changing the windows on the first floor and the second floor. The windows on the first floor was
80,000?
yeah, $17,642. The second floor windows were
20,000.
21,100. This is the other one, 500 once more. $21,130. That would be the second part of this grant.
So did we even think about clerk of court's office,
For the court's office.
Lynn's office?
So that is what we're here for, because the third floor windows are,
20,000?
yeah, 31,000. And so we're trying to figure out if we're wanting to do the entire first, second, and third floor in its entirety. We'll need to ask for 31,000 for the third floor windows. Just because the amount, there's 11 windows on the third floor. There's 15 windows on the third floor, 10 on the first floor, and 10 on the second and 9 on the first. So we're looking, the grant would allow us to do the first floor, the second floor and the first floor paid out. We're asking if we can get the 30,000 to do the third floor.
We got bids from other vendors.
No,
I think we need to, for this kind of money, we need to get bid from other vendors.
So what? So isn't the first floor of the basement, the detention center?
no, it'll be the entire front of the courthouse. So you have the detective's room, the sheriff's office, the undersheriff, the side windows.
Okay,
And the reason why we're asking for this is they'll have their equipment here, number one, already to do the second floor. So if they're doing it, then, it's not a setup time. And number two, if we're getting all the windows from the same area, same time, then we're guaranteed all the same runs with the metal work, so.
The other technical question is if you choose not to do all 3 floors at this point. Several times the clerk's office has been mentioned. Would you prefer to do the third floor
The third
windows, versus first
First
floor
and
or something?
My preference personally would be to get the clerk's office done. That's one we get all the complaints on all the time. And they're in pretty bad shape.
instead of maybe the first and the second?
I'd do clerks and then go as far as we could from there.
Well, with the clerk's office, the entire third floor, so from the courtroom around to Lynn Fricker's office on the side, that is the cost of both the first and the second floor. Because there's more windows
So-
up there.
So there's enough to do either the third floor
Or
or
the
the first and second
yes.
floor.
Why do we need to do the courtroom?
Those windows are just as bad as all the others. They're
But-
old, they're outdated. We can get repair parts for them.
But they're not opened. We can't open them. We've always got them covered.
Well, the thing is, are we wanting windows that's operable or not?
I think we should brick them in since you won't open the window blinds.
By operable, you mean open and close and,
Right, they're non-operable. Some of them stick halfway. They're not energy efficient windows. Because they have a stone panel on them that half the time you can't pull down. They're aluminum cladded windows. And that courtroom is just one big room where we put a lot of our energy into as far as heating and cooling, especially when we have large court cases there.
When would this project happen?
So there's no deadline as to when it can start. And according to the grant, we don't have to give them yearly updates on it. That's all we have to do is let them know when it's finished. So we can start it at any time.
And then there are reporting from the time it's done. Dale will, when we're ready to start, Dale will pull an energy month by month of the prior year. So that we can have a monitoring that shows whether or not, how effective they've been. So we will have to report in 6 months and a year relative to efficiencies shown by the reduction in our energy bill for those savings.
There's no set time for this grant.
If we did them all, would it get done this summer?
I'll have to, well, if.
It's gonna depend on whoever we get the glass
Right.
from.
Yes,
And these will be a special order.
yes, because they're all different sizes.
So it could stretch into 2 budgets then. If we had to put money into it.
We can stretch it into 2 budgets. It's all up to how you guys wanna, so this money's the 79,000. Once we put that forward, we'll be getting that back upon completion. So they'll mail us that check back. The 31,000, we won't be getting back. That'll be coming out of the county's budget. Specifically for whatever windows you guys choose to get done.
so first floor 17,642,
Yes, sir.
second floor 21,130.
Yeah,
So that could be paid entirely out of the grant.
yes.
The 17.
And then the third floor, 31,000 that would have to come out of our budget.
Yes,
Or we could do the third floor
out of the grant.
out of the grant and leave the first and second floor for another time.
Right.
Yeah, it's trying to find money for these special projects out of the budget that we have is getting more and more difficult.
Well, and I might be wrong, but wouldn't it make sense to do the second, third floor at the same time? Because it's gonna have special equipment here for, they
Yes.
wouldn't have to bring in twice then.
So
Right.
we don't have the money to do the second, third together without us contributing.
Yeah.
Well, and what we don't know, at this point, what we're trying to achieve is what is the energy savings that
Yeah.
will be achieved? And how do we maximize those savings to help do a payback on?
Well, it'll take years probably to
You're not.
get
gonna
our
see-
money back.
You're not gonna see a difference in the power bill by those windows. It is not. That's not the energy monster.
The energy monster is a big unit sitting above. But that's a
I mean,
lot,
it's,
79,000.
even if you change the. Yeah, so you're proposing not doing the energy management system? in
No, I
those
am
Windows,
to do that.
so we'll do energy management system and some
And
windows.
one of the floor, yeah, one or two.
And I tend to lean toward, I don't understand why would, the courthouse, courtroom we could not do, and you could do the mail room and the break room. The occupancy in the courtroom is minimal at best. And we could turn those temps down to 50 degrees in the courtroom when it's not being used with the new energy management system. Other than aesthetics, I would think we'd wanna look at other areas that are used a lot.
Well, and we can probably take the windows out of the courtroom and use them on Lynn's side of the building. The only thing is we're trying to make them match and look all similar.
Yeah,
Yeah, if we're gonna do stuff like that, I'd just soon replace them. Well, it sounds like just doing the first and second floor is the best way to do it right now. That's what we have money for.
but I think Lynn's office, the break room, the mail room, and probably Justice Court's back office, those are the rooms we have people sitting next to them all the time and utilizing the rooms.
Well, I suppose as long as we have a standard that if we look at whatever windows on the second floor are least critical, I mean, if we look at where Lynn's office is in that area and be sure those are compatible all the way down and not do all the windows on the first and second floor, make sure that we have the face of the building, those windows replaced or whatever, and really do a pick and choose and consistency by office, but maybe not the whole floor.
Don't we already have a mismatch on the face of the building? The courtroom windows have never been touched, but we've done stuff over on the other side of the building, correct?
Correct.
These are aluminum windows on the east side of the building and the
And
original
vinyl.
windows on,
Yeah,
so again, aesthetics is nice, but can we afford it? And the answer is no. So then do you do where they have people sitting by the windows all the time? I.e. Lynn's office and,
So is this bid from Valley Glass?
yes, it is.
That's what I thought.
I love them to death, but God, they're expensive. And I really think spending this kind of money, we should get another bid.
Well, I think we have to because of the dollar value, but we don't have to advertise. We can just solicit bids because of the dollar value.
I'll get a couple other contracts. I think there's Mill Garden, wherever else around, so.
Yeah, we have to show that they've used Davis Bacon on it because it's a federal payment job, so, and I can't imagine on those installers that they're not, for their laborers, that they're not meeting the Davis Bacon pieces, but we need to be sure that they are.
So the Valley Glass was Davis
Yeah,
Bacon.
I spoke to Bryce about it.
Well, they're,
Even more for what they pay for labor around here, that's really not an issue.
So if you want me to get, a bid on the offices themselves, so like Lynn's area, the mailroom area, and then we go across the superintendent's of schools area, I can get something like that set up, and then the sheriffs downstairs who are normally not in their office. And then the courtroom, we could ixnay that, see where we come up with a price on those windows.
Yeah, I think that maybe if we could, kind of pick and choose which ones, that we would wanna try to get done with the money we have and then see what's left after that. What other local dealers are there? I mean, WBC,
There are.
they don't do installation though, do they?
No,
You'll have to go to Missoula and Kalispell.
Yeah, well, it looks like we need to get another bid or two and maybe prioritize.
which windows are.
Yeah,
And I could call, Bryce back in and just, to start over from which windows we're looking at. I go from there.
And I'd encourage them that we're gonna have to seek some other bids, maybe I'd love to do business locally.
So, what agreement are you going to come to relative to which windows that we're really
I
talking
don't know
about?
that we have yet. We have to get new bids and pick and choose.
But we're go with the ATS control system.
I think that's imperative.
yeah.
So I'll get those guys on the line. The windows part of this, I will get, Valley Glass and a couple of the contractors to come in and get a bid on the windows, so they're all on the same page with the ones that we're changing out.
Guy walks into a bar.
And,
That would all start great.
I hate to say this, but maybe we should get a hold of who Swank using on the schools. Maybe that'd be another company we get a bid from.
great,
Yeah, well, thank you.
painless. Thanks for filling.
You're welcome, Mr. Dale.
Meeting is adjourned.
Be more formal.